Hey, everybody, and welcome. I'm your producer, Denzel Snipes, and this is Cubfidential's Season 2 finale. It has been a wild ride of a season. It's been awesome. It's had its ups and downs. At the All-Star break, a little bit before the All-Star break, people didn't think that the Cubs, pretty much had a shot at even contending, but they did. The guys are going to get into it, later on in the show. But before we bring them on, just as a reminder, to like and subscribe Sideline Sports on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Also, check out our replays on Stream TV and DBTV as well. Hit the subscribe button, for the notification bell for all updates on new episodes. We've got material every single week. Um, just going forward. So we're about to enter into the off season mode, just like we did last year. So there'll be no episode in December, and then January, February, March we'll have one episode a month. So January will probably focus on free agency. February, March may or may not be on spring training. Who knows? You'll know once I type out the previews and such. But you know what? Let's go ahead and get on to the season 2 finale episode. Got my guy JB Ellis coming right on in. What's going on?
Not much. What's going on, Jay? How you
Uh,
doing?
Doing good, doing good. Just ready to wrap up and get to the off season.
Yeah, weather's getting cold. Daylight savings time.
Yeah.
The Cubs got a new manager. The Bears are horrible. Got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. And then who knows what the Bulls are going to do this year. So, I mean, that season's just starting. But, hey, I mean, if they could win the play-in tournament, that'd be a bright spot.
Exactly. So we got a lot to talk about. And who I love talking to about all this stuff? Mr. Ubbs himself, the pundit's
What
pundit, Jacob Christner.
what is going on? Just getting. I'll tell you this. That whole thing, and you're right. The Bears are pathetic. They are horrible. But because Fleet Fields ain't playing, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night, and and all that kind of thing. I'm actually looking forward to that. See if you can get a fourth game and get a win for once. But the thing about the Cubs, though, is we got a shock, didn't we? Yes,
Yes.
Yes, I do. I love Beijing 007. But we got ourselves a shock with the council deal, didn't we?
That it came out of nowhere.
I know.
I was impressed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And see, my main thing, I am very impressed because we've been talking about Ross. And by the way, they're talking about possibly bringing him to San Diego, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, I thought you wanted to win, but
Exactly.
but the big thing about it is this was nice, and you know what this means. I think they're going to try to go get a Otani or someone big, or get a Soto, someone big. They're actually trying. They'll actually try to pay past the luxury tax.
Listen, I think that they're showing that they wanna win, they want to develop their young guys, and they want to set the culture as a winning organization. This council move definitely shows that. I think they overpaid for him, but the Ricketts have money, and if they're willing to spend it, and they're doing it right. They have the young core there. Now you have to bring a couple of veterans in, and that's how you win. That's the blueprint for winning a baseball.
Well,
So,
go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know I think that this was a great move, and they got a manager that knows how to handle the bullpen, that will be consistent with their lineups. It'll just be an overall positive situation.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this. I just heard today that in the winter leagues, Christopher Morel's going to be playing first base. So they're going to try him out with first base to try to give him first base for the Cubs next year.
Nice. That'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see.
And that's our power hitter. And he's got a lot of energy. So that might be pretty good.
Exactly. I think it's going to be phenomenal to see. I can't wait. I wish it was April or March so we can see what's happening with this. But we'll get to it next year, and we got plenty of time in the off season to enjoy everything else that's going on.
Oh, I mean, I love seeing. That's the big thing. Completely out of nowhere, council comes in, means they fired Ross with a year left, which we've wanted anyway. This isn't to say. This is the thing. We know as a catcher, Ross knew the game. But what have I been saying about I want to see David Ross be before he did any of this? Be like a minor league manager or like third base coach or something. I've been saying this for 2 years now. And it's like, and I hope he doesn't go to San Diego because I want him to learn somewhere else because he flat out with some of his decisions and he picks the wrong times to be safe and he picks the wrong times to be gutsy. And you learn those things. You learn those things by what Brian Snitker did before he was a Brave.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. But before we get into the council thing and talk more about the Cubs, let's talk about the World Series. So the Rangers went out and won the World Series in 5 games, to capture their first World Series title. Simeon's 2-run homer in the ninth seals the victory. What was your thoughts overall of the World Series?
Well, one of the things that we said by itself is I said this, and it's like they're going to have to finish it out, or if they would win at home, or if they would win, it would be the Joe Carter. So I was saying they needed to finish it, and they finished it, and they finished it, and it's like, and Rangers are just a better team, and no disrespect to the D-backs at all, the Snakes. Oh Lord, they came complete. They showed that baseball is like you're not going to. Like the last time we saw a 40-42 NBA team in the finals was practically like the Knicks or you get the Rockets in '81. You don't see that, but you almost see it in the last 10 years pretty consistently where they get hot and they move.
Without a doubt. And I mean, when you go to the MVP, we got Corey Seager, who won a second MVP in the World Series. 3 homers, 6 runs, 6 ribbies. Was this a surprise to you, or did you think he was the definitive choice?
Yeah, he was. I brought up the other, but you were right. They got hurt. Seager, otherwise,
Yeah.
Seager, otherwise, it's like he's a stud, and his paychecks are coming. His big paychecks are really coming now. And that's he's going to get an extended pay. He's going to get an extension. It's going to be huge.
Without a doubt. I mean, what a phenomenal series he had. Showed that he could lead the team. And he did it basically with the injuries that happened. I mean, what a phenomenal job of just showing the team that he's the veteran leader that that they needed.
Well, when you need to make your career, you got to realize Corey Seager's like one. I mean, you want to know who used to have a bunch of Corey Seagers? Just like overall, they were set. St. Louis Cardinals. They used to just bring them in. I'm just saying, as far as maybe they're the rival, but they used to just get these. They used to just bring them out time and time and time and time. Just those types with just, and it's like, guess what? They didn't get extensions the way Seager will. They just they were just the working man's crew, and that's why they were loved in St. Louis. But there's not going to be any more working man's thing. If you have these kind of big things now, you're going to get paid.
Without a doubt. I mean, I completely agree. I think that the Rangers are in a great spot to show everybody who they are, and I think that they have the talent to actually repeat.
Well, but the thing is, the Angels picked up Ron Washington, so they got themselves a good manager to have to go against them. So they're gonna have a tough time repeating, but they're gonna go for it.
Without a doubt. Now, let's go on to talk about the Cubs wrap up. They went ahead and hired counsel. Do you think that this puts them as a contender in 2024?
Oh, good Lord, yes. I mean, and this immediately does. And there's the talk that they're getting aggressive trying to talk to Ohtani. So that's just, even if you don't get it, that just shows their aggression. They're aggressive for once. They want to win for it. They went after something. They literally stole them from the Brewers. Stole them.
Yes.
So I mean, with the biggest, and you're saying overpay, it's like, you know something. They caught a situation. They caught lightning in a bottle on something. There was a guy dissatisfied that there was a guy dissatisfied that the franchise won't pay for anybody. He's dissatisfied. He's winning 92, 95 games and getting all that kind of stuff, and they won't pay for anything. All of a sudden, here comes your buddy. Here comes somebody comes to your game. It's kind of like the equivalent of the Natural, where you're seeing the guy strike out the whammer. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you're like, oh my God, we got to get, that. It's like all of a sudden everybody knows this guy's won 5 out of 6 division titles, but they don't get enough. And all of a sudden you're saying, guess what? We'll go after Ohtani. We'll go after Soto. We'll go after those guys. Bingo.
Without a doubt, I got to agree completely. So the Cubs ended up 83-79, second in the Central, 9 games back, and 1 game away from the wild card. What's your overall thoughts as far as how the season was for the team? Was it better than you expected? Was it a fluke? Are they going to be back in this position next year?
No more fluke. It's not a fluke at all because we got a new manager. But the biggest issue with it's like we had this with Ross is I was fearing this, and you heard me on every show after show after show. And hey, Shearer, what's going on? And after show after show after show, we're hearing all of this. And I said it. They would win 5-4 against the Pirates. They win 3-2 in the 9th against the Royals. They go, any of these teams that are just miserable. They go 2-2 against the Rockies, who are 51 wins. They're just miserable over and over, but they can't get rid of these guys. We're in like September 8th, and we're getting that thing. We're barely surviving, we're barely winning, and we're getting like half game behind, all that stuff. And all of a sudden, we're losing those games. They're facing those guys again. They're losing those games. And that's what I'm saying. A team like the Braves puts a boot on your throat. A team like what we're going to call, I'm just saying in the National League, a team like Texas, they did. If they got the Royals, they're winning all 3 by 10-0. If you feel, you get on point. That's the,
Without a doubt, for sure.
They're going to put a boot on the throat. That's what the really good teams are going to do. They're going to use their people. And that's what makes it tough. That's what makes a really good manager is consistency. The team stays consistent time and time again, not getting lucky. And so I absolutely think they overachieved with Ross because Ross is not a good manager. He's a phenomenal people person. He'll be, if he doesn't get a job, he'll be tremendous on TV because he's got his phenomenal personality.
Yeah, I think he'd be phenomenal on TV. I agree with you completely with that. I think that would be a great spot for him.
Well,
but
he's a younger Dusty Baker in the fact that he doesn't have the experience of Dusty, doesn't have that experience at all, doesn't have all those things. He doesn't have the skill on the managerial side to do it, but he's got players that love him. And that can mean a lot in a long season. Like, I give you this with Dusty. When a guy would be struggling, when everybody on the internet wants the guy set, he'd go bring the guy home-cooked meal from his wife. Those things. And you could see Ross doing something like that. He's a good guy. It's just he just doesn't have the same skill level. And it's one of the things where you need to be able to get yourself up by – if you want to go back to Madden, go back to Joe Madden if he gets a job somewhere and sit by him a couple of years, then go back.
Without a doubt. Let's go to the hardware, the Gold Gloves. Horner, Swanson, and Happ. Surprised, happy. What do you think about those?
Zero surprises anywhere. Here's the thing: the middle of that infield's set. You just keep that right there. That's right there set. I love it. And then, see, Ian Happ reminds me of all the Cubs fans, the goofy Cubs fans that they wanted him out of there at 176 average. And then this is what happens. This is why I talk to front offices of every sport about. I would love to say it. I say it right here. Every single time that you see something like this, and they give that thing, if someone listens, they get rid of them too quick, and they might go to the Dodgers, for instance, and they might get huge. they might figure it out. They might get a batting coach that needs something. See, there's no nuance in fans. This is why you can't, as a front office, can't listen to fans.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So, Hot Cub Time Machine are my favorite segment that we have on the show. Because what sounds better than, the hot tub time machine? And we just made it better with a hot cup.
Yeah.
So give thanks to the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think you should give them some snaps. We can pretend like we're hippies. Give them snaps.
What? Like this?
There you go. Look at that.
Like that, you mean?
There
No,
you go.
I do thank everybody for this. And it's like, this is my second year on here. Been a Cub fan since 84. I was 6 years old. And it's the same as, this is the thing. It is when you're a fan since 84 and you remember and can absorb it as well as you can. It's the same as being a Larry Bird fan. I said this to somebody the other day. You don't realize how long ago that was until you see all these guys on canes now. The guys that you remembered from those days. Or Andre Dawson's near 70. You know what I mean? And he's
Without a doubt,
and he's
yes.
got a funeral home. And he's got funeral homes and stuff like that. And you don't realize the thing just because I am only 45. The people that I can talk to about those eras are 60. So the thing is, I enjoy talking about the Cubs. I enjoy with the Cubs and everything. I enjoy having this kind of memory, these kind of memories to bring back. And I enjoy the show, and I can't wait to be on for the foreseeable future.
Well, we're going to be back throughout the off season.
Mm-hmm.
Denzel gave the schedule, but I'm excited. So the next best segment after Hot Cub Time Machine, Cub or Dud.
Yeah.
How we came up with all these names, I got to give yourself, Denzel, and myself some credit. Because these segment names are phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, Cub or Dud, the same roster on most of it with Council's going to come back, and the Cubs can win 95 games.
Over. And I'm not just saying because Council wins 90s, but I'm talking about, you got to remember they're trying to go after Sotos, Otanis, the types. They're trying to go after. See, what I like about Juan Soto is he walks a ton. They walk a ton. That gets you on base. I love that. The thing that I'm loving about Otani is I've said this basically off his pitcher. I mean, their World Series is 103, so you can't tell. But same time, though, the thing I like about Otani is he's not going to pitch this year, which means that can be, as special of a hitter as he is, he's still like 301. That's his best average ever, and he's like a 270 career. He could be a 340, 350 hitter without pitching and using his time up,
Do you think he'll ever pitch again?
No, I really don't, because I really believe he's going to see this year coming up 330, 340, 350, the Arias type of numbers. And he's going to be like, no, maybe he'll be there pitching as a emergency bit, maybe like bullpen in a World Series or like in a 10-1 game or something. Maybe that, just to make the fans happy. But as far as full time, no, because he'll see how good he is as a hitter and he'll quit.
That's a great point, and I think you're phenomenal, Mr. Ubbs. I'm glad you're here with us, and we get to do this show weekly. We're gonna miss it in the off season because we won't have the opportunity to be here every week. But the excitement that we have to be able to make this the best Cubs show that's out there.
Yep.
Every week, and your dedication is phenomenal. I want to thank you for it. Will the Cubs go to the World Series next?
Something. Whenever they go to the World Series, we definitely need to bring Sideline there and Cubfidential there. There's no question.
Without a doubt. So before we get off here, give yourself some snaps, because that's going to be the joke of the night. And with that, where can people find you?
Pundit. I mean, I am Jake the Pundit on the Twitter. Let's see, Cubs or Orioles? Woo! Ask me in 2 months, because we got to see what the free agency does. 2 or 3 months. but not sure yet. As of right now, it'd be the Orioles because they've got that roster. But let's see then. But the Jake the Pundit on Twitter. I'm not going to call it X. Jake the Pundit 1 on TikTok. I am on Ricochet and Substack. I am Sunday with the Professor and the Pupils. I am Monday nights on Top Rope Talk with the Sniper and the Pundit. This Wednesday nights is here, and then the Sports Exchange. Then Thursday nights is Pundit's Pundit, and then I'm a backup on 1 or 2 others. So I stay busy.
Well, we definitely appreciate you taking the time all season and being dedicated to Cubfidential. Denzel, come on, tell everyone where they can find you and what other projects you're working on before we get off the air tonight.
All right. Well,
besides washing your hair.
Yeah, pretty much, which I do like 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Top Rope Talk, just like Jacob said, on Mondays. We do all pro wrestling all the time. We have AAW reviews as well as WWE. Whenever there's a premium live event, we go match by match down the card. The previous episode we just did was the Crown Jewel recap. So tune in, not tune in, but go and find that episode. It was awesome talks. Also, Wednesday, the Gauntlet presents Picked Off NFL picks week by week. We didn't have a show tonight, but we will have one next week. See who Lone Wolf's on the pick and see the locks of the week as well. Thursday, Pundit's Pundit over on the South Florida Tribune. Also Cubfidential whenever we are in season. Fridays, the Gauntlet. And then occasionally I also will appear on the Professor and the Pupil. You can find me on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, NEL13. Also, you see right there on the heading, Denzel Sniper 13 on Twitch. Follow me on there. I'm just getting it started. Just build my followers up and everything. Denzel Snipes on Facebook, Jay Nelson on LinkedIn.
Well, Jay, we appreciate it. I'm JB Ellis, Sideline Sports every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Then it airs Wednesday on WDJY 99.1, DBTV, NFL Alumni Network. And you're going to hear some exciting news about another TV network within the next month or so. And while that's happening, it's not just going to be Sideline Sports that's going to be on there. We got a bunch of shows. I can't wait to unwrap that. That's going to be your Christmas gifts as the fans out there that enjoy watching us and can't get enough of the guys in the group. There's a lot going on. We'll see you guys for our next episode. We'll keep you informed of the date. But until then, see you later.